Alright, I live in Los Angeles, which, among other things, means that I spend an inordinate amount of time stuck in traffic. So I decided to do an experiment. I set up my phone in a hands-free manner, so I can look the road, I don't have to touch the phone, you can still see me. And I've got this little lapel mic here that I've been using. So I'm very curious to see how it's going to do with the ambient noise of the car. I am not moving real fast. I don't think the camera is capturing what's happening outside the window, but I'm going at most 10-15 miles an hour, and I don't anticipate going faster anytime soon. After recording a little video on my background and a little bit on politics and gun control, one question that came up was my take on immigration. Being that I am an immigrant and I am a conservative, so where do I stand on immigration? So the best analogy is that I like the idea of having a very tall wall and a very wide gate. What that means, I think overall, in principle, immigration is a good thing. Living in a country that likes to attract talent from abroad is a great thing. I think it's been good for America overall. And if you want an immigrant story, I'm an immigrant. I came here when I was 15 with my parents, my brother, and my grandma. My grandma collected some government benefits since she was in her mid-70s when we came over here. We collected, the rest of us as a family, we collected government benefits for about 3 or 4 months, something like that. Then my dad found some sort of a menial job. My mom found a job. I found a part-time job. My brother found a part-time job. We also worked as we're going through school. We were obviously a net benefit to American economy. And later on, as we got educated, we're clearly a net benefit to American economy. We pay a lot of money in taxes, and we're generally beneficial, right? So that's and this is the type of immigrant story you want to have, right? The guy who founded Google, one of the guys who founded Google, he's an immigrant from more or less the same place as I am. You'll have very few of those, obviously. You'll have very few of them. They may be prominent, but you'll have very few immigrants who are in the upper class of society. What you want to do, you want to structure your immigration policy so that you get the middle class in, right? So middle class is the backbone of society, and that's what my family has become. What that means is that structuring immigration policy means you need to have some sort of control over it. All this waltzing back and forth across the border is not something I like. I think it's a terrible idea. Now, will the wall help? I don't think you can build a wall that will stop everyone. But comparatively speaking, a wall is not that expensive. It's an interesting exercise, and if it helps us control the border a little bit, it's all a good thing. I do think that in terms of policy, in terms of who we let in, ever since the 60s, I think that's a Teddy Kennedy legacy, the makeup of our immigrants has been really screwy. We are trying to take in people from some of the worst places in the world. I think President Trump called them a shithole countries. I'm not really a Trump fan per se, but I think he's right on this one. It's not a nice word, but we all understand what it means. You want people who want to come here and become American and contribute, and not just learn English language, but also adopt American culture to a certain degree. Right, the first generation immigrants, like my parents, adopted to a lesser degree. I came here younger, so I adopted it a little bit more. My kids are American. With most immigrants, the kids are American. What you want to avoid is the creation of ghettos, right, where you have second, third generation people who have not really Americanized all that much, right? If you bring in people who will stay on government assistance for 2 generations, that means you're a Democrat and you're bringing in voters. That is a terrible idea. So what all that means is that I think that a merit-based immigration policy is a good idea. Taking in some people as refugees just because it's horrible where they are. I'm not strictly speaking in favor of that, but I came here as a refugee, right? So you can have some sort of a quota for that if you're so inclined, if you need to satisfy some bleeding hearts who really want to help the downtrodden. America is a wealthy country. We can afford some of that, but not as much as has been happening, and not in an uncontrolled manner. Remember, I came here legally, right? And everybody knew, the authorities knew that I was here. I came here with official status. It's not like I waltzed across the border, showed up and started going to school. Everything happened legally. And that, I think, is a sort of a big deal. Now there is a question, what are we going to do with all the people who are currently here? Deporting 20, 30, 40, whatever number, million people back to Mexico, Central America, or wherever they're from. There are a lot of people here who came here on a guest visa and stayed. Deporting them, I don't think it's practical. I think it's very expensive, and I don't think it's going to work. So I think the best way to go about this is to offer them some sort of a path to a permanent status, meaning a green card. In my opinion, if you came here illegally, if you basically broken American law to get here, you don't get to become a citizen unless you serve in the military or something like that, right? But if you come here, get a permanent status, green card, whatever like this, follow the laws, pay your taxes, assimilate into the country, I don't see a compelling reason why you shouldn't stay and why your kids, who will be American, should not have the citizenship. If an illegal immigrant registers for this program, path to permanent residency, we'll call it that. I don't like path to citizenship, path to permanent residency. If you register for this program and you keep your nose down, you're fine. If while this whole process, and for whatever time it takes, government moves slowly, it's not going to be less than 10, 15 years or whatever it is. While if during that process you commit some sort of felony, fraud, anything like that, we pack you up and ship you to wherever you came from. Right? And with your kids and with your family and all that sort of stuff. In other words, we should make it, we should incentivize being a beneficial, law-abiding member of society, right? Now, if you've been deported before, you decide to walk back across the border, tough potatoes, you go wherever your home is, right? I think that reasonably makes sense. Yes. Then, needless to say, right, if you are an illegal immigrant and you get mopped up for some criminal activity, we kick your sorry ass out. Now, deporting people, kicking them out and all that is not going to do shit until we find a way to control borders. Controlling borders for a country as large as the United States, with a border as geographically difficult as we have in the United States, is not a straightforward thing at all. But it's doable. And we know where they walk across the border, right? There's no magic to it. Start closing those places one by one. Get a piece of a wall or an electronic wall or simply better patrolling, and just close up those places one by one. There's this argument, we have to build the wall, and until you build the wall across the whole freaking border, it's going to do nothing. And the other side of the argument goes, it doesn't matter what kind of wall you build, somebody's going to figure out a way to jump over it. Well, the truth is usually somewhere in the middle. Some of the most industrious people will always find a way to jump over a wall, right? But it will stop the less industrious. And if you put enough cameras on there, at least we'll have some reasonable grasp. Maybe we can mop up some of these people. No, there is no way to stop illegal immigration completely, but we can, I think we can cut it down substantially. And I don't think any of that is going to happen in one huge gesture. You basically have to do it incrementally, little by little, consistently. It will take some years, but it's perfect to do. Or, here's an alternative for you. We can not only control immigration, but we can even make money out of it. How, you say? Well, I've had this idea for a long time. Nobody believes me. All right, we cross the border with Mexico. We build the wall, put some barbed wire on it, something. On the other side of the wall, you have a moat with comparatively deep water and all sorts of alligators. And beyond the moat, you have a small minefield. All right. Then we put a shitload of TV cameras on there and start a reality show. If you make it through the minefield and the alligator moat and through the wall and through the barbed wire, you get a green card upon setting foot in the United States. If you're not industrious enough to make it through the whole thing, stay where you are. Anyhow, that's my thoughts on immigration. I hope you found it anyway informative. I see a lot of people talk about immigration. I don't see a lot of immigrants talk about immigration, so maybe I can offer a counterpoint. Thank you for watching, and go to my website, click on some links. It doesn't cost anything extra to you, and every little bit helps out. Thank you for watching.